right, everybody. It's Barack, no strength coach, personal trainer, and most importantly, here to help you pass the CSCS exam. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. The link below, Show Up Fitness. You can check out some of our videos on how to help you pass the CSCS, as well as get a little more detail on our actual CSCS exam prep class. We host 2 classes a week, live webinar, and we also have a study guide with over 200 questions to help you get as prepared as you need to be for the CSCS. Today, I wanted to just review a little bit Chapter 13. It's going to be the administration and interpretation and scoring of our selected test. So if you've gone over Chapter 12, it talks a little bit more just about the principles of test selection and administration, reliability, validity. You need to make sure the test measures what it's supposed to, that it consistently measures those results as well. Now we're going to talk about actually administering the test properly, scoring them, and interpretation. Now that we know how to properly, now we know what makes a good test, now we need to properly administrate them. So there's multiple tests. The main things they're going to want you to know in this chapter are going to be understanding the different types of tests. They're going to be from those athletes that are usually going to fall in one of the following categories. You have maximum muscular strength, which focuses on primarily lower speed strength. Typically, that'll be things like the bench press, the back squat, the bench pull. Those things, again, those are max strength, but they're not for speed. Again, you're not going to lift the heaviest weight you can for a very fast or explosive time. So it's more measuring max muscle strength from low speed. You have maximum muscular power. Now that's going to measure more speed, high speed strength. So things such as the power clean, your standing long jump, your vertical jump, your static vertical jump, your reactive strength index, and your Marguerite-Kalaman test. And again, it's important to make sure you understand all the tests of each one. So if you hear a test that I mentioned that you do not know, please make sure you look through the chart starting on page 265 of the CSCS study book. So make sure you're looking at those. Next, we have anaerobic capacity. It's going to be the 300-yard shuttle is going to be the most common one there. So this is a test that's going to measure, just how much you're able to do anaerobically before you kind of fatigue. So again, we know anaerobically things are going to be typically a minute or less, really more like 30 seconds or less. So these are things that you're going all out for a short period of time. Then we have local muscular endurance. Obviously things such as the partial curl up, the push up, YMCA bench press test. These are going to usually be body weight tests in a sense, just seeing what your muscular endurance can be. So, push-up is a very common example. Then we have aerobic capacity. These are obviously your more long distance things, seeing, where your VO2 max is, seeing how long you can go in something aerobically. 1.5 mile run is a common one. 12-minute run, yo-yo intermittent recovery tests, as well as the maximum aerobic speed test. Then we have agility next. So obviously agility is going to be typically lateral speed, change of direction. We have things such as the T-test, the 505 agility test, the pro agility test, and the hexagon test. Then we have speed. Those are going to be straight line sprint tests. The 40-yard dash is a popular one. 60-meter dash is another popular. And then after that, finally, we have balance and stability, flexibility. Those things, we have the BEST test, BESS, balance error scoring system. Star excursion balance test, flexibility, sit and reach, overhead squat. Then finish just with body comp and anthropometry. Again, that word is hard to say. Again, it's going to be girth measurements. We have skin fold measurements for body comp. And then obviously we know things such as the DEXA scan are going to be the most reliable, and hydrostatic weighing when it comes to body fat. But again, those are going to be hard to access. Not everyone has access to those machines. They're very expensive machines. So again, skin fold measurements are going to be best for on-the-fly convenient testing. But again, it's very important to make sure the tester is competent. So just making sure you understand those concepts. And I just talked about balance and stability. It's very important to understand that balance, where these things differ. Balance is going to be your ability to maintain static and dynamic equilibrium, center of gravity. So again, you're going to not only being able to balance while standing still. Static balance is just kind of standing still, maybe pulling a leg up or doing something of that nature. Dynamic balance is going to be, in game, maybe getting, pushed off your equilibrium or moving in a certain direction. Are you able to keep your center of gravity? Having good balance is always going to help make you a better athlete. And stability is going to be the ability to return to that desired position following disturbance. So again, it's balance in a sense, but balance is keeping that center of gravity, and stability is more about getting to your desired position after something pushes you off guard. And obviously, understanding flexibility is going to be your ability to move through a certain range of motion, which is very important for athletes. That's going to be where injury prevention comes in. If you're not able to properly move through a certain range of motion, it's going to make you that much more likely for injury. So these are things that are going to be very important. It's important to measure athletes' balance, stability, as well as their flexibility. So, these are some of the tests. Some of the other important things to know from this chapter is understanding, different scores and percent changes. And those are just, measuring the score from the beginning, the first test, and then measuring it again to see how much better they've gotten. Percent change is obviously just seeing the percentage of change they've had between tests. They do have limitations though, so make sure you understand that. And that's why reliability and consistency of the person administrating the test is going to be very important. This chapter talks about central tendency as well, understanding those things, mean, median, and mode. Again, we know the mean is going to be the average if you just add up the scores and divide them by the number. Median is going to be the middle score in a test group. If there's an even number of things, then you're going to use two of the middle scores. And mode is going to obviously be the number you see the most. And then understanding variability as well. How widely do the scores vary? That's range and standard deviation. The range is going to be the difference between the highest and the lowest score. And the standard deviation is going to be, just how far you are from the mean. So standard deviation is going to be a very important one. Make sure you understand what those mean. You will get questions. Not a whole lot. There's not a ton of questions on mean, median, mode, and standard deviation, but you will get some. So make sure you understand those concepts. And again, understanding so range is the difference from high and low score, whereas the standard deviation is going to be how far away from you are from the mean. And understanding percentile range, that's going to be one that's very important, not only for this chapter, but also just for understanding questions they might ask about someone's bench press, or just a case study example. They'll give you an athlete, they can bench this, squat this, they run this time, they have this vertical. Understanding their percentile rank. So obviously the 50th percentile rank is kind of that middle point. That's kind of average if you want to put it. Obviously, we want our athletes to be above average, especially when we're talking collegiate and pro level. So again, knowing where that 50th percentile range is very important for the exam. So you can know pretty much if a number is under that, they're probably going to need to improve it. If it's over that, could be potential for improvement, but you always want to look for a number that's a little lower out of your options. You always want the best answer. So if you see something that's in the 60th percentile and something that's in the 40th, then the answer will be the one in the 40th for what they need to improve on. So yeah, really make sure you do a good job of looking through the charts, understanding where the percentile rank is for each athlete. They're going to vary. Obviously, so a lot of the main sports they use on the exam is going to be football, basketball, baseball, and volleyball. You get and then obviously running for males, and for women you'll typically see basketball, softball, volleyball. As a lot of the tests they ask. So make sure you understand the 50th percentile rank for all of those. And yeah, just making sure you understand things such as like magnitude statistics, like smallest worthwhile change. It's going to be 0.2 of between subject standard deviation, and effect size is going to be the change in the mean score compared to your pre-test standard deviation. So again, the effect size is going to be we do a pre-test, then we train and do whatever, then we do a post-test. The effect size will be the change in that mean score. Compared to where they were in the pre-test. It's going to be important for understanding if we're properly training them, properly administrating the test correctly as well. So these are going to be some of the main concepts, but more than anything in this chapter, you want to make sure you understand the charts at the end. The charts at the end that they talk about the mean, the 50th percentile ranges, averages, things of the such, and you also want to make sure you understand every single exercise. That's every single test rather that's going to be on page 264, I believe it is. Make sure you know every test, because you don't want to miss a question just because you're unaware of exactly what that test is supposed to measure. All right, that's it for chapter 13. Reach out if you have any questions. Have a good one.